Welcome in for another edition of the Elias Game Plan. I'm Anita Marks, and we've got two of the best in the business coming your way from Elias, getting you ready. March Madness action. We are just days away from the Sweet 16, and it's been a fun ride so far. So Rob Tracy, Frank LaBombarda, there we go. I got it a second time, right? Almost, Frank. Close. They're joining us here as well. Both of them working with Elias and have been working with Elias for quite a while. So as we said, we are at the Sweet 16 stage of the big dance, the tournament, and we're going to break down all 8 games for you starting on Thursday. Ready, gentlemen?
Yep.
Okay, ready. So let's do it. So Thursday, 7 o'clock, we got Arkansas going up against Gonzaga. Drew Timme has been unbelievable, averaging 25 points a game. He's shooting 60%. Arkansas got through Vermont and New Mexico State. Maybe not as impressive, but nonetheless, this is going to be a good matchup. Gonzaga favored by 8.5. The over-under here is at 154.5. Frank, let's start with you. Who do you like in this matchup?
Well, originally I was thinking about Arkansas to cover. I mean, obviously Gonzaga's going to win. Gonzaga's been really strange. First half they've been struggling the first half. Like if you just break down some of their stats, 66 points in the first half. They're shooting 40% from the field. You go into the second half, 109 points they've scored. They're shooting 60% in the second half. So clearly they're getting off to slow starts, which has been killing them because then you're getting into the second half and they're letting teams hang around. But I think that this week, no doubt Mark Few is going to kick their ass. I mean, he's going to say, look, you guys better start these games better because, you know, as you get deeper, you're going to get into trouble if you're going into these second halves. You can't constantly go into these second halves as a top seed and let the other team knock on the door because one of these times they're going to kick the door in and it's going to be over. Arkansas this year, a little different Sweet 16 than last year. Last year, I mean, you know, they played a 15 last year, and now they got a 1. So they beat by this tournament. They really haven't impressed me at all, and they haven't even played anybody. So
right,
what are they going to do to Gonzaga?
Right, you play a 12 and a 13, and then you get run into a 1. There's no way.
No way, right?
And they should even have been a 4 anyways in the first place. It was a little bit overseeding. So
I agree. I think that hurt them with the overseeding there.
Yeah. Listen, I had Vermont upset. I had Vermont beating Arkansas.
Right. So close.
And I really thought New Mexico State would take care of them as well. So I think for me, Arkansas is on borrowed time. I guess the big question is, you know, are you willing to lay the 8.5? I don't know. You know what, Frank? Maybe the play here is that you play Arkansas in the first half. Maybe you play Arkansas in the first half, and
I think they're going to come out. I just think Gonzaga's going to come out different. I think.
Right. I think they have to stop JD Note, and if they stop him at all, it's over. Like
they have 3 days to rectify. They have 3 days to rectify this. I think. Right. I think they come out strong.
That he's too good of a coach not to do that.
Right.
At 7:30 on Thursday, game number 2, you got Michigan going against Villanova. Villanova turnover rate and their free throws are a lot better than Michigan. However, they don't have a lot of depth. Let's be honest. Michigan snuck into the tournament, ranked 33 in the country. Their offense only ranks 20th in the country as well. I had Colorado State upsetting Michigan. Obviously, that didn't happen. Their win against Tennessee was impressive. So, Rob, let's start with you. Villanova favored by 4.5. The over-unders at 135.5. What do you like here?
Right. So I had Villanova going to the Final Four to begin with. I think Jay Wright's probably the most underrated coach in America. They always sort of just miss him when they're talking about Coach K or Izzo and all this other stuff. They never talk about Jay. He's ridiculous. And Michigan, I still don't think they belong. I don't care if they won 2 games or not. There was other teams that were just as good, if not had better end of seasons that did not get in. And 11 versus 2 in a Sweet 16, they're only 3 and 14. UCLA was one of those 3 wins last year. So for winning the game, it's Nova. What is it? 4.5?
4.5. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they win by 10. I think same thing happens. Like it'll be close. And they'll spread it out. It'll be close. And then at the end of the game, when they have to foul, they just run it back up to almost double digits to win.
Frank?
I agree. I'm a big East guy. I know I've been down on them this year because they break my heart every year. But I think no, even though I didn't pick them to go this far, but I think now that we're in this situation, they're playing Michigan. I mean, Hunter Dickinson's been a beast, but they've been turning the ball over a lot, Michigan.
Right.
15 in each game it's just way too many. You're going to play a team like Nova, and they're good D, top 25 D. And Nova's very been well balanced this tournament. They got 5 guys between 12 and 17 points,
Right.
averaging between 12 and 17. I mean, they have a lot of weapons to go to. Since 2016, Villanova is 18-3 in the tournament, the best record.
By far, right.
9:30, Texas Tech against Duke. I can't wait for this one. To me, I think this is the best game on Thursday night. Duke is Texas Tech is favored by 1. The over-under is 135.5. As we know, Duke, number 4 offense in the country, top 10 shooting team in the country, 38% from downtown. But Texas Tech, man, number 1 defense in the country as well. So you've got an excellent offense going up against the best defense. Frank, let's go to you. This really is a pick'em. Let's be honest. Right. Texas Tech by 1. This is really a pick'em. I'm still a believer defense wins championships. I like Texas Tech. I think they're going to punch Duke in the mouth.
Totally
but
right.
That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I think this line moves. So many Duke fans out there. I'm sure they're going to jump on that, and I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up even at some point by game time. But Tech, I picked them to go pretty far. They have a really, really good defense, and just like you said, I always like defense over offense, because defense, you could always play defense, right? You could have a bad day offensively. Generally, defensively, you don't have bad days. And I know Duke's been playing a lot of passion. Tough game the last game. They haven't scored well against top defenses, so I anticipate that to continue. So I'm going Texas Tech winning this one.
I had Duke. I had Duke winning this game to start with, so I'm going to stick with them.
There's a Duke lover over there,
and I cannot stand Duke. So if you didn't, the best 5 minutes of basketball over the first 2 rounds was Michigan State taking a 70-65 lead with about 4.5 minutes left, and then Duke saying, "We're not losing this," and just running away with it. I'm telling you right now, I think the same thing. It'll be a lower scoring game, but I think the same thing will happen. Tech, it'll be in the balance, 5 minutes left, and I think the Duke kids are just going to say, "We're not losing this for the coach."
Oh, really? Like they said when they played UNC at home, their last,
and probably said when they played
on senior night, Rob. That
UNC is playing great.
I've learned a long time ago. You can say whatever the hell you want, but
it wasn't about the ACC championship. It was about the national championship.
No,
let me ask you guys this: considering that Texas Tech has such a great defense, do you think that maybe the under is the better play here for folks who want to wager on this matchup?
What's that number?
135.5.
So what's that? That's like 70-65.
Yeah, that's fair. I'd say the under.
Fair. Yeah, I would certainly think that too.
At 10 o'clock, you have Houston going up against Arizona. I thought Arizona was going to lose to TCU the other night. Man, that was a really, really good game that went into overtime. But as we know, Arizona, really high power offense team, very physical, a lot of speed. And then you've got Houston, top 15, a more even-keeled team, right? Ranked top 15 in offensive and defensive efficiency. They block shots well. They're just a well-balanced team. I lean Arizona here. Arizona is favored by 1.5, and the over/under is at 144.5. Frank, let's start with you. What do you like here?
I've been rooting for Pac-12. USC let me down a little. I had them going far, but it is what it is. Arizona's been a ridiculously good shooting team. The last 8 games, they're shooting 53%. So they're really making their shots. They're going to be tested, though, because Houston, their defense is no joke. They were really good against Illinois. I think what's going to end up at the end, Houston's been terrible from the line. So I think that game's going to be close down at the end, and I think that's going to hurt them. I like Arizona and covering, too. So.
So Arizona was the 6th number 1 seed to need overtime in the first or second round game all time. All 5 of the previous ones won their next game. And I think that streak ends here. I think Houston's defense, I think the young kids will get so frustrated by meeting a defense, like a real defense, which they don't have in the Pac-12. And I think they'll just get unbelievably frustrated. They're just so young still. I can't get over how young they are. Houston is not. And I think I would take the under, and I would take Houston to win.
I hope Houston wins. I have Houston coming out of that South region.
Right.
And because I picked Iowa to come out of the Midwest, in order for me to win my pools, I need UCLA, Gonzaga, Houston.
Sounds like one of my picks.
Do you see me? I'm diagramming what I need, and then I need Gonzaga to beat Houston. That's what I need to win. All right. So those are your 4 games on Thursday. More action on Friday, and right here in our own backyard, guys. St. Peter's, what is up in Jersey City? Big shout out! Wow, going up against Purdue. Purdue favored by 12.5. That's a big number. That's a big nut to lay.
And I'm taking the 12. Or I'm giving the 12.
No, Rob.
2 things. One, I saw it earlier. St. Peter's, nobody in their right mind, unless you went to St. Peter's, thought they had a chance in either game. They beat 2 teams this year that had a winning record. Both those teams were barely over 500. That's it. Out of their 21 wins, 2 were against barely above 500 teams. The rest were all against losing teams. So there's no way they should have been in either one of those games. And they got it done, sure, but this is where it stops. First of all, 13 and higher seeds have never won in the Sweet 16. 0-10.
Oh,
so
that's an alliance.
They're not winning the game. So it's all now it's about how much will Purdue win by. I think.
Wait, I want to write that down. Give me that stat again.
0-10. 13 plus seeds in the Sweet 16 are 0-10.
Ooh.
And they're probably the luckiest 13 plus seed to ever get this far out of all those other ones. They didn't play anybody. So I don't see it. I don't buy it. I think Purdue blows them out by 20.
I think St. Peter's going to cover. I know Purdue's offense has been clicking. There's no way St. Peter's can keep up with them. But I just think
Frank, if this was a non-conference game in December, what do you think the spread would be? 30.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I just think that.
No, St. Peter's got 3 days to think about what they accomplished, and I think that's it.
I just think that you're gonna get late in the game. It's going to be hovering around a dozen, 15 points, and
20, 25.
I don't know. I just think that I think they're going to cover. There's no way they're going to win, obviously, but they've been playing well. They've been shooting. They've been really good from the line, and I just think that they're going to hang around enough to cover 12.5 points.
All right.
They lose by 11.
Listen, here's the thing, though. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the most watched game of the Sweet 16 because
it will be in Jersey.
St. Peter's has, they are the Cinderella story.
Yes.
In the tournament, and so
right.
and
people love that.
People love it, and people are going to be rooting for them. Yeah. I can't wait. I can't wait for that game either. 7:30 on Friday night. Providence going up against Kansas. Kansas favored by 7.5. The over/under is at 141.5. Rob, let's start with you.
So because I have Kansas in my final anyway, in Providence, I was like Frank said before, they were terrible coming down the stretch. I don't know how they got here. So the first game was down to the end to beat.
They haven't.
These games haven't been pretty. I think Kansas is just too overwhelming. I think it's just very similar to the Gonzaga Arkansas game. I think they walk them. I think this is 10 points plus for me.
I think Kansas is going to win this game. I think the cover. I have Providence to cover, but I think what's going to come down to is Providence's 3-point shooting. Right? It's they shoot 37% and wins, 26% losses. So basically, if they hit their threes, they'll stick around. If they don't, it could be a long day for them, unfortunately. But I think Kansas wins, Providence covers.
At 9:30, this is going to be a good one as well, gentlemen. You've got UNC going up against UCLA. UCLA, again, another team, very even-keeled, balanced, top 15 in offense and defensive efficiency, great rebounding team. Defense, they're holding their opponents to 32% from behind the arc. They're a team that likes to force turnovers. Meanwhile, UNC, we know they've got great size. They're physical. They shoot well behind the perimeter. So I think that's going to be a really big key to see UCLA's perimeter defense, especially against three-point shooting against UNC, who likes to drain threes. UCLA favored by 2. The over-under is at 142.5. Frank, who do you like here?
I'm going with UNC, even though I have UCLA to go pretty far. I don't know, just something. First of all, I have to say something about that UNC Baylor game. I mean, it's like I was watching that game and thinking it was just unbelievable, that game. I don't know how everybody else felt about that game, but I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. I knew it was coming. Once Manic went out, I was like, you just got that sense of something was changing, and boy, did that change. But they got out of it. So they can score. I mean, let's face it. North Carolina is going to score. They're going to give up a lot of points. That's why I like the over on this. UNC games averaging 150 points per game combined. So I think that's pretty good there. The only thing that I worry about with UCLA is if they get behind big, they're in trouble because they don't take a lot of threes. So for you to get back in this game and you want to keep up with UNC, you got to hit your threes. You got to take your threes. So that's why I think UNC ultimately is going to come away with this game.
I'm going to stick with UCLA. Had them here before, and it's like like you said, when Manic went out, which I thought was questionable. To me, that's in the NBA, that's barely a foul, much less a flagrant 2. They had nobody to come in to replace him, and that's why Baylor caught up. They have zero depth, less depth than anybody else left. They're a 5-man team, which is stunning at North Carolina. You only have 5 guys at that level. I think it depends on what's his last name? The UCLA kid who got hurt. He's got 3 days off for his ankle. He's Johnny. If he's fine, UCLA they win. But I mean, you got to. So this is the 12th 4 versus 8 matchup in the Sweet 16. Right? Meaning the 8 beat them 1 and the 4 went through. The 8s are 7 and 4. So because the 8's stronger because they beat a number 1, maybe they're a little underseeded, etc. But
believe me, I don't want to go against UCLA
because it's ridiculous.
I mean, I'm going against my bracket by picking UNC, but
I got to stick with UCLA.
And did all four of us have UCLA coming out of the East in our bracket?
Yeah,
yes,
I do. Yeah,
because I said like the beginning we had East or the East was so wide open, and it turned out to be very wide open. So
all
right.
I expected Baylor in this game. That's why. So.
Yeah, I expected Baylor as well. All right, last but not least, you've got at 10 o'clock on Friday night. It's a Friday night. Hopefully people don't work on Saturday. I work on Saturday, but nonetheless, stay up if you can. Oh, come on, Frank.
No.
It's Friday night.
9:20. You know what? I have, Anita, I have an alarm that goes off so that I can go to bed. It's not the other way around.
Iowa State going up against UM, baby. That's right. I'm from the 305. My dad played football at University of Miami. University of Miami is favored by 1.5. The over-under is at 133.5. They beat Duke. They beat UNC. Frank, they beat your Trojans. No, obviously, their biggest weakness. Their biggest weakness is their defense. But Iowa State could be. We talk about St. Peter's being that Cinderella story. Iowa State could be that Cinderella. Could have that Cinderella story as well. Rob, let's start with you. What do you like in this matchup?
Well, it's both of them very impressive. Iowa State's win in front of a raucous Wisconsin crowd is probably the best win of the tournament. That was a home court advantage at that level, and they shut them down. They didn't even score 50. They held them to under 50, which is crazy. Yeah, and they forced 17 turnovers, which is I think was a season high by Wisconsin. If they play that kind of defense, they're beating Miami. I just don't. If they continue to play that, yes, Miami looked. Oh, I watched most of that game last night, or Auburn, but we all had questions about Auburn anyway. Right. So I don't know. I think Iowa State is Cal Shore is a good player. They have Brockington's a nice player. They've got They play unbelievable. They like you said, if defense wins championships, they're winning this game. Period.
Yeah, I mean, if you just look at it, the opponents are 6-41 beyond the arc in this tournament against ISU. I mean, they're really, really good, and Miami's been struggling. So I think that combination is going to make it difficult for Miami. But can they? You know, they're going to need another sub-60 game for them to pull this one out. I have Miami to win.
Right.
I don't want to. Yeah,
Miami gets a lot of easy baskets at the rim. I just don't think they're getting those at Iowa State.
Yeah, I like Miami to win, and I like the under in this one. I think both teams are going to have a lot of trouble scoring this game.
Yeah. All right, so again, we broke down all 8 games remaining. It is the Sweet 16, gentlemen. Let's end on this in regard to the teams that are still alive. Like again, I had Iowa coming out of the Midwest; they're done. But if you had to re-bracket, choose who's going to go to the Final Four, who's going to win the championship with what you've seen already heading into Sweet 16, who would you choose? Rob, who's your Final Four? Who's your Final 2? Who's winning the championship for you?
I'm keeping my Final Four. It was Gonzaga, UCLA, Kansas, Villanova, and Gonzaga over Kansas in the final.
Okay. Frank?
Well, I mean, I got Gonzaga and I had Gonzaga, Kansas in the final, so obviously they're going to stick around. I guess I have to change to North Carolina, even though I had UCLA in my. I don't know. I don't know what
wishy-washy.
I'm very, very confused right now. I mean, it's not difficult to do.
Who do you have coming out of the South?
I guess I'm gonna go with Arizona. I mean, I didn't like them in the beginning, but I feel like I know Rob hates the young team, but I think that they're gonna pull it out. I think they're gonna
I've got Gonzaga, UCLA, Houston, and Kansas. Right. And I am now dancing to the beat of a different drum. I do have.
It's fun, isn't it?
If it's Houston Villanova, that will be a great game.
Houston Villanova, I think it will
be a great game.
I think it will be, and then it'll be really interesting to see. Iowa State really, and you guys broke it down so well in regard to their defense and just how suffocating their defense is. I'm intrigued. Obviously, listen. This is why we love March Madness. We love the Cinderella stories. Right. Iowa State and St. Peter's, to me, if they can make a run. Like it's gonna screw up everybody's bracket, but it's gonna make the tournament all that much more exciting to watch down the stretch. So,
but I'm sure there's one person out there that has St. Peter's winning the championship. I don't know.
You think so?
Yeah, one of the kids' mothers. Somebody does
something like that.
You always see something like that, right?
All right, Frank, Rob, thank you so much. Everybody, hopefully you enjoyed our video today, our podcast today, getting you ready for the Sweet 16 and beyond. Also, if you haven't had an opportunity to check it out, we also have a video out with Rob and Randy Robles in regard to the golf match play tournament, the Dell match play tournament that's taking place. That kicks off on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Is head-to-head, and then it really gets fun on Saturday and Sunday. So if you hadn't had a chance to look at that video, please check it out as well. For all of us here at Elias, we appreciate it. Good luck this week.